to fellow political parties, particularly from the opposition, that there will be a time for politics. There will be a time for us to hold large rallies and jalsas and abuse each other in public. But this is not the time. This is the time to unite as a nation and to help desperately in need Pakistanis who are suffering in all 4 provinces of Pakistan.
Mr. Foreign Minister, with due respect, I would just like to say, I've noticed that whenever I come to this place, there are only selected a few journalists. They are always asked, they are always allowed to ask questions. We are from foreign media, and I've been raising my hand. I have just 2 quick questions. One question is, according to a 2019 report of Water Ministry, in the past there used to be natural waterways that could carry more than 1 million cubic water, and because of encroachment that has shrunk to 100,000. Most of those who encroached upon, they are from the elite and super rich classes of Pakistan. What will government do to clear? Because many people believe, many experts believe that had they been cleared, this would not have brought big disaster. My second question is directed to the respected Secretary General. There are critics who believe that the United Nations failed in helping African countries get reparations for slavery. There were colonial power like the United Kingdom, according to Columbia University, looted $45 trillion from this region where you are standing, and they were not given any reparation. The United Nations failed in preventing France from carrying out nuclear detonation in South Pacific Ocean that has jeopardized the very existence of some countries. It failed in preventing United States, which is one of the biggest polluter in China, from spending on fossil fuel. So how can the people of Pakistan pin hopes on the United Nations that we are suffering from because of the misdeeds, because of the recklessness of the global north that has been spending on fossil fuels? The largest companies belong to global north. How can people of Pakistan pin hopes on the United Nations that it will help in this hours of difficulties?
Thank you. So thank you. I disagree that specific journalists are asked questions every time. For example, today my friend from the Chinese media and from Sama TV have asked me a question for the first time. Second of all, as far as encroachments are concerned, absolutely. Okay, monsoons mein, barishon mein, normal rain and weather events, they are encroachments on drains and on sewage edges, natural waterways that could help the water exit faster. In this case, where we have a 100-kilometer lake that is developed in the middle of Pakistan, where from the mountains of Balochistan water is pouring in. From the skies above, we had 2 months of just flood from the skies. And when the Indus is, the floods of the Indus are descending down, all collecting in the province of Sindh to form that 100-meter lake that is still descending to our province, आप मुझे बताएं कि मैं कितना बड़ा ड्रेन बना दूं? कौन सा ड्रेन खड़ा हो सकता है? कहाँ डैम खड़ा हो सकता है जो 100 किलोमीटर वाइड लेक को रोक सकता है, जो 100 किलोमीटर वाइड लेक को ड्रेन कर सकता है? There is no man-made infrastructure that can evacuate this water. We are relying on gravity, and we're below sea level, and we're relying on what drain can compete with the mighty Indus. What drain can compete with such vast bodies of water? So I understand that in a normal sort of circumstance, aam barisho ke liye, you can talk about sort of the construction of elite housing societies and such things on natural. In this case, it is the disaster of such a scale that there is no drain that can address this issue.
Well, if there is something the United Nations, and me in particular, have been insisting very strongly in the last few years, is of the absolute need of developed countries to fully fulfill their commitments in the Paris Agreement in relation to support to developing countries. And we were behind the campaign that was made for adaptation to be taken seriously, and that led to the promise let's see what happens to the promise of $40 billion per year in support for adaptation in developing countries, and we are in the first line of putting in the agenda of the COP loss and damage. So we are really doing everything we can to push those issues in the agenda and put pressure for them to happen. But it's not the United Nations that decides those things. It's member states themselves, and it's the international financial institutions that manage, to a certain extent, if management is the right word to do, the global financial system. And if there is something that I've been saying loud and clear, is that our global financial system is morally bankrupted.
Excellency, it was actually right then it was taken away. One is another point in South Asia, which is issue of Jammu and Kashmir. And whenever you come to this region, Pakistani leadership definitely takes you into confidence over peace and security. So peace and security is directly linked with the unresolved issue of Jammu and Kashmir. And India only listened to United Nations as a mediator. So tell us whether are you ready to mediate to ease relations between India and Pakistan? And connected to this is India is also trying to make entry into United Nations Security Council. So with the worst human rights violation record. So in the days to come, do you think India will be given entry into the UN Security Council, or are there some other plans? What are other plans as far as reforms are concerned? Thank you.
As a matter of fact, if there is something that I've been always offering is my good offices in mediation. But as you know, the Indian side considers that this is a bilateral matter to be solved only by Pakistan and India, and the mediation of the United Nations has not been accepted until now. On the other hand, we have been very active in relation to the clear affirmation that human rights must be respected.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Another appointment. Thank you.